This is our lecture for 320 on Tuesday the 2nd. I am recording. And so this will be available to you a little bit later. Hopefully you had a chance to look at the what to do this week. There's a preview video, kind of step you through things. My hope is that you watch those so you have a little bit of an idea of what's going on for the week. Here is a folder with a whole bunch of stuff in it. And there's your template. Each one of these pages is what we call a deliverable. So when you work on one of these pages, whether it be the work in the drawings or putting the page together, you'll note those times down. Okay? And then as always, you can sign up for an individual review session with me. And there's your Canvas submittal site. I had one student tell me, it's so hard to find everything. I don't know where it is. It's on the calendar. Calendar is the big first thing that you see. There we go. Calendar. And what to do this week. So if you have any questions about what to do each week, please look at the what to do this week file. Watch the video. And then usually the individual files are going to be in a folder for you here. Sometimes they'll be scattered through the week because that's when I'm teaching. Okay, so let's see what's up for today. I've also made a playlist for you. Okay, all of the videos that go with this week are going to show up in there. And so you can watch them. And let's see, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 50. There's a little over an hour's worth of watching stuff. And they're really focused on what this week is. Has anybody watched those yet? I know I put them up just a little while ago. But you also know that I do have a YouTube. Yeah, you got your other typing board on, Natalia. But I do have a YouTube channel that you can always be checking in for. There we go. So they're there, and you can watch those. Those are step by step for a lot of the stuff that we're going to do this week. So I'm not going to do those examples. They're already done. You can watch them. I don't think I need to do that, but I'm going to do some of the other ones. So we're working in Sketchup this week. Sketchup mass models. Okay, good. Oh, let's see. And yeah, do you want to go ahead and who raised their hand there? May. Do you want to go ahead and pop on and say something? Or were you just saying that you watched them? Cool. Okay, so Leah says, where do I go to download SketchUp? I'm going to show you how I get to SketchUp. And I didn't download SketchUp. SketchUp is very hard to work with now. They want this information, that information. You can just look up sketchup.com or SketchUp, and they're part of Trimble. I'm going to show you today. I use the VMware, and it works on Mac, Chromebook, and Windows. And so that's my suggestion. If you don't have it already, use the VMware. It works just fine. I'll do that right now for you. So this is SketchUp. Okay, and they're what's called mass models, and I described mass models. Mass models are approximations. They're taking up room, they're taking up space. And that's really what you're interested in. You're not, when you do mass modeling, you're not interested in the details. You just kind of want to see. Okay, well, May, that's good. um, did you do the Arc de Triomphe in AutoCAD too? Yes, yes. Okay. Um, so we want you to learn many different things. If you can do them in SketchUp, that's cool too. But if you did them in something else, that's okay. But there's a reason we use SketchUp, and that's because in many industries, SketchUp is the mass modeling tool of choice because it's very quick, it's very easy, and there are literally millions and millions of pre-made items that you can pull in very quickly so that within hours you can have a VR ready or a 3D ready or even the other stuff. Yeah. So look, some of you are going, "Oh, I see what the topic says there. SketchUp mass models." And if you look at my video playlists, they're all SketchUp. I want you to work SketchUp. Now, if you absolutely can't use SketchUp for some reason, let me know. But we teach you SketchUp, AutoCAD, and Revit because we're design technology. This is not an AutoCAD class. It's not a SketchUp class. It's not a Revit class. In the last half of the class, actually more than half, you do get to choose what you want. But our requirement is that you learn how to use a bunch of different programs. So in many ways, well, some of these are easier. These little gewgaws, Natalia says, I did some of these models in Inventor. Some of them are much easier in Inventor because the tools are there to make gewgaws. But you don't have the ability to do a lot of the presentation styles, the shadowing, the animation list. That's actually harder. It can be done, but it's harder in Inventor. Okay? And I actually don't care about those shapes. I care that you understand primitive modeling. And when you do it in Inventor, you're not likely to use the primitives. You might. So let's see how to get to SketchUp. Here I am. I'm going to make a new tab, and I'm going to do VMware. vdi.losrios.edu. And I think I've published that to you before, but I'll put it in the chat right now. There we go. That's how you get to it, right there. Now, you can, if you've gone the older unit, you may already have VMware already on your computer, and that's fine. But they've made a big improvement where you can get to it just through your web browser. Bink. Your W number, and there I am. I'm in it. So I'm going to pick, I don't know whether SketchUp is on all these other computer pools. I know it's on the ARC design pool. I know it's there. So it's going to start up, and I'm actually going to take a few minutes to do a full setup like you would do. Now, I've made a video of this before. Maybe you've watched it. And we have videos of this on the Tech Ed channel. Maybe you've watched it. But now, since you're here, you're going to watch me go through it because I actually have to do it if I want to make this useful. So here we go. It's coming on. NVIDIA has been acquired. That's good to know. It's going to take just a moment. It takes about 5 minutes to start up. So there it goes. Now it's ready. Very first thing I do is I make a folder for my work today. And this is my second time I've been in it, so I'm going to make a -2. And then because I may want to do something with a PDF, I might want to do something with a PDF. I'm going to log in. This is the hardest part. Adobe can be a real problem. But if you get in, you're good. Next thing is, I need to be able to save my files. I always save when I'm in VMware. I always save to Google Drive. So I'm going to go into my Google Drive. There we go. So far, so good, right? So that's just using a computer. That's being techie. And one of the things we want you to do is get good at being techie. So I'm going to look for my folder where I can upload later on today's work. Look, see, these are every day I'm on here. I can always go back and find the stuff. Okay, so I don't need that right now anymore. I need Sketchup. To open Sketchup, when I'm on VMware, I tend to right click, open, because it can take a while. And I don't want to go click, 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 and open it up 5 or 6 times because we only have 50 seat licenses. There we go. So I'm going to open new file there. There it goes. And then I think I demonstrated, but I put a set of toolbars on. I get rid of getting started and go to large tool set. I like shadows, they're kind of cool. I like standard, I like styles, and I like views. That's usually what I put on there. Now I'm ready to go. The only thing is I don't know what to build. So I'm going to come back over here for a moment and I'm going to go back to my list of stuff. There's my to-do practice. And I'm going to do one of these primitive simple shapes for you. And I did some of them already. So maybe I'll try this primitive simple shape. There we go. I'm going to try that one. And I'm just going to stick it over here, kind of out of the way. And I'm going to try to make that thing. And so I'm going to think about it a little bit. Let me go get it back. There it is. I could make a little block that's 4 by 4. See that? 4 by 4. And it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 high. 4 by 4 and 6 high. And then I think, no, actually, sorry, it's 3 by 2. Let me do that right. It's 1, 2, 3 by 2 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then I could draw this circle and then I could punch out that circle. I know what I'm doing now. I'm going to get that out of the way so I can see it later on. So remember I showed that I kind of get rid of Google Susan there or whoever that is. And see down here I got my numbers. So it's 2, comma, 3. Up, it went the wrong way. Always does that to me. 3, comma, 2. There, that's the way I wanted it to go. Now I'll just erase some stuff. There, 3, comma, 2. And then I said I was going to make that 6 high. Press pull. So this is using primitives. Rectangles are primitive shapes. So are circles. So now that I've got a face, I can put a circle on it from the midpoint up to there. And I can press pull that. Do it right. To there. Wow. Look at how cool that was. And then I like to get rid of extra lines if I can. They kind of get in the way. Although I probably needed, will it find the center? Click. There's the center. And I think that this is 2. So I'm just typing the number 2. I'm going to show you something. See how those are kind of a crummy circle. I'm going to undo that. And I'm going to do this circle command again. But before I draw anything, circle. See how it asks me how many sides are on my circle? Sides on a circle? Yeah, it's going to make it out of stuff. So I'll put 100. Now my circle looks really good. And my radius is 2. There. See, this one was kind of a crummy circle there, but that's okay. And then I can punch this through. Whoop. Now, sometimes, let me see if I can get it to go all the way. Nope. If I go past the end, it doesn't work. But if I go right to the end, it cuts the hole. So some of you may have had some issues with that. If I go past the end, it's okay, but it makes a thing out there that I got to get rid of later on. If I press it right to the end of the part, it makes a hole. And I think I've got it. Now my next one is so cool because if I find this center point again, and come across, if I find this top point, and it's hard to tell what's straight across, but since it's red, it's following the red. Red. Then I can erase stuff. Oop, too much. Sorry, I don't want to actually erase it. Let me go forward there. I want to press pull that away. Now I may have to get rid of a few little parts. This is where Inventor gets easier. Still okay. I got rid of too much again. And I got a C up here. Yeah, that looks okay. There, I got my next part. That looks pretty much like it. Isn't that the coolest thing you've ever seen? What you can do there. So that's how you do it. Okay? Rectangles, circles, triangles. Everything you make this week should be made out of rectangles, circles, triangles. Since I'm in here, I'm going to save this right now. So save as. We'll find my little thing. This is primitives 3 and 4, right? Yeah, I'll fix it. I probably. Okay. Now, if I want to do materials, materials are fun. I can make it colored. And it does kind of like each surface. So you can do each surface a different color. There we go. So I can do different colors and materials. I can make something brick. I'll make something out of brick here. Well, it's the brick is too big. So I'd have to scale it. But that's okay. So you get the picture on materials. You can do different styles. And I can look at sketchy edges. I think I showed you that before. You just see some kind of cool sketchy edges, sketchy edges. You can look at it in kind of cool artistic-y looking things on different types of stuff. And so that's kind of what you want to do. And then you can make things called scenes. A scene says, look at it from this view, add, and there it is. And now if I change it, I can add a scene and maybe change to a front side view and add a scene. Rear view, add a scene. Back view, add a scene, and then go back to scene 1. Well, how cool is that? 1, click, 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 and back to scene 1. And then if you want to do a where's animation? Okay. Where's my make tools? Animation. I thought it would be in here. I know it's around somewhere. There it is under view. Animation. I can play it all as one and just go. And then I can save my file, and then I can export either a graphic or I can even export that animation as an MP4. So there you go. That should give you plenty of stuff to put on that first page of doing primitives in your portfolio. So after that, there's the Arc de Triomphe. Arc de Triomphe. So I'll let this cruise along a little bit. So do you guys see, using SketchUp on VMware is pretty good. The only problem, of course, is if you have connectivity problems or the power goes out at ARC or something, then you can't get onto it. It's a problem. Or if people forget to log off and close out. So when you're done, I'm done. I'm going to make sure that you do file exit so that you no longer have anything open. And I know you got to get back into it again if you want to get into it again. But if you leave it open and just log off, then it takes that seat up for somebody else until the next day. Okay, so always, always, always log off. We have the same problem when people use them at school. Okay, let's see what my Jamboard looks like. Any questions on the primitives right now? I'll take a moment and take some questions. They feel comfortable with what primitives are. And do 2 or 3 of them. And there's some more complex ones there too if you feel like it. If you feel like reading a drawing. Okay. Well, I have a video of this. And it shows what to do it. But looking at all these dimensions and just sort of writing things down, I kind of figured out the dimensions. This archway is 50 feet wide. And since this is about 150, this is 50 feet wide and this is 50 feet wide. And you could get it more precise. I don't care. So Haley asks, do you want us to add colors and styles to the primitives that I just showed, or is it more for the Arc de Triomphe? It's more for the Arc de Triomphe. There's no reason to do it on the other ones, except more practice makes you easier to do it. But there's no real reason to do it on the other ones. And I did not do it in my demo videos. Okay. So that was a good question. Thank you. So here's 50 by 50, 50. And looking at these dimensions, I figured out this was 25, 25, 25. It's important for you to understand how I got those. So you do it yourself. And if you want to be more precise, be more precise. Get closer, use 164 instead of 150, right? Use 148 wide across, use 164 tall, use 48 wide. Okay, so you can be more precise, but I just want a mass model here. But you're going to have to start looking at dimensions eventually and going, okay, what does it come out to be and what is close enough for my needs? Okay, so these are the numbers that I've got. So you can see I can make a rectangle. Actually, I'll make it on the ground. I'll make a rectangle on the ground that's 150 by 75. And then I'll press pull it up 75 plus another 50, 125. Then I'll put a circle on it that is 75 feet tall and press pull that through. And then I'll draw my lines down and press pull that through. And then I'll come over here and I'll look at it, and I don't remember I gave a height figure out here. But there's another circle and a height, and I'll do the same thing. And then I'll make the piece on the top. And that's my mass model that's pretty close. And then if I want to put a little more detail on it, I'll maybe add these ledges and these ledges and maybe this little fence that's up at the top. If I want to add a little more detail, I'll add some little pokey out parts that I can pretend are these things and a little pokey in part here. And if I want to put on more, I can take a picture of this and put it on, and a picture of this and put it on, and a picture of this and a picture of this. And I can get all these pictures, and pretty soon I got a really quite detailed one. I don't need super detailed. What I did in my video is more than enough. What I did in my video gets full credit. Remember, primitive shapes, rectangles, cylinders, a lot like the 3-4, 3 and 4. Okay, let's come on back here and open this up again. And I'm not going to get the sizes just right now. I'm going to come kind of close. In this case, I'm going to move her out of the way. So there's the move command. Move. And then I'm going to make, what was it, 150 by 75? 150, comma, 70. Let's see if it goes the right way. Oh, those are too small. Those are in inches. I need the foot symbol. 150 feet by 75 feet. I'm using the foot symbol. There we go. Now it looks big. Hold down the shift button and the wheel. Move it around. Hold down just the wheel. I orbit. The press pull was 75 tall, so I'm just going to type 75 feet. I'll tell you what some people like to do is they like to draw upward 75 feet. And then they like to press pull up to the top of that. Not finding it for me. I don't know why not. Usually it'll find out right to the top corner of that. So there's the main part. Then it said I find the midpoint, go up 75 feet. I do that all the time. 75 feet. Oh, then I wanted to go up another 25 feet, right? Much better in my demo. There we go. Oh, that should have been 25 feet. Always getting them mixed up. There we go. Cool. And press pull it through. Right to that end point. If I go too far and I have stuff sticking out the back, it's not too hard. I can highlight everything, right click, intersect with model. And then all this stuff goes away. That goes. Now here's where this is a little bit clunky because I left it on 24. But, I'll just find a spot out here and go down. Blue means up vertical. That's not vertical. That's not vertical. It just turned blue, vertical. Here we go. Got it. So that's how you do this, okay? And then I've already showed you scenes and all those other cool things. So there's plenty of videos on these. I don't need to show all the stuff, but I wanted to let you see sort of what the process is going to be. So now let's look and see what else there is. Presentation stuff, shapes, adding textures. So I've gone through all those. So what I want to do, come back to here again, and I want to show you, if you get this done and you have fun, you're welcome to make some models. That one's, is there some kind of printout for what the symbols mean in Sketchup? Go back and take a look. Not really, but if you hover over it, there's move. And I'll show you all of the ones that you need right now. And by the end of the semester, you'll know most of these. And I'm not sure what happens if I type move. So here's another thing you can do. Sometimes you can right click. No, it really doesn't like to do that. So here's what you do. I wanted to show you one more thing. Speaking of move, if I try to move that line, it's so weird it stays stuck. If I need to move this whole thing, I'm going to highlight it. Oops, I got Google Susan down there. I don't want that. Move. I'll get back to your question in just a sec, Janice. So I'm going to highlight all this stuff, right click, and I'm going to make it a group. That way, it will all move together. That's a nice thing. So you might want to make things into groups. You can also click on it and ungroup, explode. Okay? So here's the thing that you need to know right now. You need to know the draw line tool. You need to know the rectangle tool and the circle tool, because we're just doing primitives. You also need to know the move tool and the press pull tool. It could be that you want to learn the offset tool. It might be useful to you. And if you want to know a dimension, there's the dimension. So you could use the dimension tool if you want. Okay. Yeah, they don't have the greatest stuff. You've got this instructor thing that might have some of them in it, but yeah. Okay. So that was a good question. But what I want to do is look at some of these. That's actually not too hard to draw. It's a rectangle. And if you put windows on, just make a rectangle and you can make that glass and you can actually see in. So if you'd like to draw that, that happens to be Harriet Tubman's house after it was rebuilt, after it burnt down in New York. This is a really cool one. We have a project for Australian National University, and they want us to 3D print canoes from the Polynesian islands. So I think this is, I don't remember which island this is from, but you can make some cool stuff with this. This one is not as much primitives. To make this one in primitives, you have to be a little bit clunky with your design, but you can still do it. This one's definitely primitives, and it looks really cool when you get it done. Okay, that's just our tower bridge. And this one, this is a pump I used to work with, is Wemco Model WP. It's now made by somebody else because they sold it. But that's essentially what it is. It's called a Cantilever Pump. But you'll see it's mostly diameters. And you're not going to know what those diameters are. So you're just going to visually estimate it. And that'll be okay. Just try to figure out. I'll tell you, this diameter right here is about 4 inches. About 4 inches. So there we go. So that's another cool one. So those are optional. That's like you get done, you go, I really want to do more drawings. Pick one of those or all of those. You can do it. Okay? What does the README say? Oh, look at that. There's the tutorials on them. Okay. Whoa, not too bad, right? Hopefully. So I am not going to bother saving this one because I've done it before. And so now I need to put my work away. This is all you do. You bring up your Google Drive, hold down your mouse, and drag it in. There. Then I make sure that I've signed out of SketchUp. It's not open. I make sure that I've signed out of Adobe. I don't have to, but I'll throw that in the trash. Few things I can do. I can do power down, but I usually just do the back button and log out. Done. Finito. All right. Any other cool questions about this week's work? I believe it's 8 to 12 hours worth of work. Okay, then I'm going to stop the recording.